Did you know that throughout history, ordinary people have lost billions of dollars to elaborate financial scams? Well, today, we are diving deep into some of the most notorious scams that not only robbed innocent investors, but also exposed the dark underbelly of the financial world. Grab your notebooks because we're uncovering key lessons on how to avoid becoming a victim yourself. Welcome to the billion-dollar scams Netflix exposed and how they ruined investors. Netflix has tackled some of the biggest financial scandals in modern history, showcasing how easily people can fall for enticing dreams of wealth, status, and success. From shell companies to dangerously misguided investments, these stories illustrate key financial lessons for all of us. Let's jump into our first case study. Scam number 1. The Tinder Swindler. Our first scam takes us into the world of romance fraud with the notorious Tinder swindler, Simon Leviev. Through charm, deception, and a fake jet-set lifestyle, Leviev convinced women he was the son of a billionaire diamond mogul. His victims? Smart, successful women. His method? A twisted pay-it-forward investment scam, except the only thing moving forward was his luxury spending. Leviev had a business model and it went like this. Stage 1, love bombing. He showered targets with gifts, private jet trips, and candlelit dinners, all paid for by his last victim. Stage 2, manufactured urgency. Suddenly, he was in danger. Enemies were after him. He needed money, big money. Stage 3, the investment pitch. He didn't ask for handouts. He sold them a vision. We're in this together. Help me now, and we'll build an empire later. Sounds ridiculous? Maybe, but Leviev understood a key principle. People don't invest in logic. They invest in emotions. And it worked. His victims took out loans, maxed out credit cards, even wired 6 figures, all believing they were financing their future power couple dreams. Yikes.
I might be blind, but I ain't stupid.
The shocking part? This wasn't just happening to naive people. Highly intelligent, successful individuals fell for it. Why? Because emotions cloud judgment. When people feel emotionally invested, they ignore financial red flags. Urgency creates pressure, leading to terrible investing mistakes. Scammers know that if they can control the narrative, they can control the wallet. But let's be honest, if someone is asking for $100,000 while flexing a Rolex and flying private, something isn't adding up. The business lesson. This is more than just a dating scam. It's a masterclass in psychological selling. We learned that emotional connections make people overlook financial red flags and urgency forces irrational decision-making. If an investment opportunity requires secrecy and immediate action, it's a scam 99.9% of the time. Let's talk about the next disaster scam. Scam number 2. The Fyre Festival. The Fyre Festival was a prime example of influencer marketing gone wrong. Founder Billy McFarland raised a staggering $26 million by promoting a luxury getaway on a remote island. But when it came time to deliver, it was a complete disaster. What was supposed to be the Coachella of the rich and famous instead turned into the Hunger Games.
Happy Hunger Games! And may the odds be ever in your favor.
The marketing was flawless, top-tier influencers, celebrity endorsements, and a promo video featuring models frolicking on yachts. The only problem? There was no actual festival, no infrastructure, no artist contracts, no plan whatsoever. When guests arrived, instead of luxury villas, they got FEMA disaster relief tents. Instead of gourmet meals, they got sad cheese sandwiches. Instead of world-class entertainment, they got stranded with no Wi-Fi and a mob of angry influencers realizing they'd been scammed. Financially, this was a masterclass in how not to run a business. McFarland burned through investor money without actually building anything, proving that hype alone can't save a bad business model. The lesson? Marketing can sell anything, but if you can't deliver on the promise, you're not an entrepreneur, you're just a scammer in a suit. And if you ever find yourself paying thousands of dollars for an event that only exists on Instagram, check for red flags.
Biggest event in a decade, I promise you.
This next one is from a Hulu series. Scam number 3. The billionaire who sold air, literally. If you ever thought, man, people will buy anything, let me introduce you to Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos. Holmes convinced the world she was the next Steve Jobs, black turtlenecks and all. Her company, Theranos, promised a revolutionary blood test that could detect hundreds of diseases with just a single drop of blood. It was supposed to be faster, cheaper, and more efficient than traditional blood tests. Investors went wild. Big names like Walgreens, Henry Kissinger, and even the Walton family. Yep, Walmart's billionaires poured in $900 million. One problem? The technology didn't actually work. Holmes knew it was a lie, but instead of fixing the science, she doubled down on the scam. Employees who questioned the tech were fired, whistleblowers were threatened, and doctors unknowingly gave patients completely inaccurate results, some even receiving false cancer diagnoses. But how did she get away with it? Branding. Holmes played the part of a genius visionary kept the company ultra-secretive, and used buzzwords like disruptive innovation and future of healthcare. By the time investors realized they had bought into literal vaporware, the company was worth $0. In 2022, Holmes was convicted of fraud and sentenced to 11 years in prison. And Theranos? It's now a case study in how hype alone can't build a business. The lesson? If a founder is obsessed with their image but won't show proof their product actually works, run fast. Scam number 4. The luxury Ponzi scheme that fooled the elite. Meet Bernard Madoff, the mastermind behind the biggest Ponzi scheme in history. Madoff was Wall Street royalty. He ran a prestigious investment firm, managed money for celebrities, and even served as chairman of the NASDAQ stock exchange. His selling point? Consistent, high returns. No matter what the market did, his clients' investments always went up. Now, if you know anything about investing, that should immediately raise red flags. But here's the thing. Madoff wasn't targeting average investors. He went after the rich. His scam had exclusivity. He made people believe they were lucky to be allowed to invest with him. Hedge funds, billionaires, even charities begged to hand over their money. And as long as new investors kept coming in, he used their cash to pay off older investors, making it seem like the strategy worked. For decades, no one questioned it, because when a guy has $65 billion under management, people assume he must be doing something right. Then 2008 happened. When the financial crisis hit, investors wanted their money back. But the problem with a Ponzi scheme? There is no money. It's all just a game of musical chairs, and when the music stops, it collapses. Madoff confessed. He was arrested, and in 2009, he was sentenced to 150 years in prison. The lesson? If an investment sounds too good to be true, it is. Real wealth takes time. Anyone promising fast, guaranteed returns is probably leading you straight into a scam. Now, when you think of scams, you probably picture sketchy businessmen or overhyped investment schemes. But this next one, it came straight from one of the biggest and most trusted car companies in the world. Scam number 5, the car company that lied to the world. The Volkswagen emission scandal. In the early 2010s, governments started cracking down on pollution. Car companies had to meet strict emission standards, especially in the US and Europe. Volkswagen, they had two choices: invest billions in cleaner technology or take a shortcut. Guess which one they picked? Yep, instead of actually fixing their engines, Volkswagen engineers installed defeat devices, a fancy way of saying software that cheated emissions tests. For years, Volkswagen got away with this. They sold over 11 million of these cars worldwide, bragging about their clean diesel technology. Customers thought they were buying an eco-friendly vehicle, when in reality, they were driving a disguised smoke machine. But then, they got caught. In 2015, researchers ran real-world tests and discovered Volkswagen's dirty secret. Once the news broke, the company immediately lost $30 billion in market value. They were fined over $25 billion and forced to buy back thousands of cars. And the CEO? He resigned faster than you can say false advertising. The lesson? Reputation is everything in business. You can scam the system for a while, but if you build success on lies, the collapse will cost you more than just money. So, what can we learn from these scams? Common patterns include overpromising results, creating a sense of urgency, and operating under a veil of secrecy. To protect your money from becoming the next victim of fraud, commit to doing your due diligence and spotting those red flags. Ultimately, financial literacy is your best defense. Equip yourself with knowledge, stay informed, and develop the ability to critically analyze investment opportunities. The most successful people in finance and business don't rely on hype or shortcuts. They build things with integrity, patience, and strategy. So next time someone promises guaranteed returns or a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, ask yourself, is this real or just another well-marketed scam? And speaking of building wealth, did you know that the world's biggest fast food chain isn't actually in the food business? It's in the real estate business. Join us next time as we dive into the world of fast food empires and uncover the hidden business behind McDonald's rise to power and how you can copy their real estate strategy to build your own empire.